So good morning everybody, it's Anne here, the Stress Whisperer again. So this morning I'm going to show you the EFT tapping points, because when you do any work on yourself and you need to do EFT on yourself every day, or you have a session with me, you need to know where the points are. The points are the ends of the meridian lines, which form part of acupuncture, which, as you know, the Chinese have used for thousands of years. And what we do is we store our trauma, our old beliefs, our patterns, our blocks, our self-sabotage in these meridians, and then by tapping the points at the end, we can release it. It's absolutely amazing, and you see results almost immediately. There's various different types of tapping, but I'm just going to show you the short form. And this begins with the eyebrows. So we actually find the point here, right at the end of the eyebrow. That is the first one we tap on. The second one is right at the end of the eyebrow, here. The third one is directly under the eye, just above your cheekbone. The next one is under the nose. There's one in your chin, here. The next one is on your collarbones here. So where your collarbones come here, that's where that is. And you normally tap that with 2 fingers. The next one is very strange. It's under your armpit. So you take your hand and you pop it under your arm and you tap gently like that. And the last one is at the top of your head. So that is the basic small one to do. Now, if you're somewhere that you can't do the tapping, or you're going to look really foolish if you do, you can imagine just doing the points in your mind. So you need to be a bit more experienced to do that, but you can do it. Sometimes if you're anxious or about to have a panic attack, people find that tapping may stimulate them too much. So in that case, what you do is you hold and you breathe. So you would hold the point and you would just slowly breathe in, hold and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. And you could do that all along the points. That's another alternative. You tap gently. You don't want to hurt yourself. Although sometimes if you're very angry with somebody or you're very angry with a situation, it's actually quite nice to go like this. And that makes you feel better as well. I'm all for making everybody feel better. Now, you can tap with 2 fingers or you can tap with 1. Doesn't matter. You can tap with either hand. Usually it's the dominant hand that you tap with. You mustn't tap for more than a minute on a point. So to begin with, you'll most probably get into a routine of tapping so many times. Don't really want you to count because you're taking your mind off what you're doing. Like this. Doesn't matter, there's no right way or wrong way of doing it. You're not making a mistake, you're not going to mess it up, you're not going to stop yourself releasing. It works, believe me. Now, when you do the tapping, you might find that you have some reactions, and this is really good because this means you're getting to the root of the problem, you're clearing it and releasing it from your body. So you may become hot. You may want to cry. We all know that tears are good, so don't stop the crying. You may become cold. You may have a dry mouth. You may get memories. You may get experiences, traumas that come up. So what you really need to do, and I advise this to all of my clients and people who work with me, that you need to start keeping a journal and write these things down. Otherwise, you'll never remember them. You'll go on to do something else or another memory will come up, because that is indicating that you need to tap on your that memory. And what we want to do eventually is to get quite specific. For example, I am petrified of snakes. Goodness knows why, but I am. And I always seem to be the person that if I'm abroad and somebody's got a snake round their neck, they make a beeline for me and I run as fast as I can. So I could tap on my fear of snakes and that would clear it to a certain extent, but you need to identify what is it about that is going to hurt you and is the main one. And we'll talk about that in later videos. I just want to talk generally today. So you need to practice these points. Now, I have mentioned in other tips that your subconscious knows what to release. So you can just tap and not think or say anything. And what's happening here is that your subconscious is releasing what it needs to release. So I'm actually starting to sigh. Sighing is good as well. So I know that my subconscious is trying to release something. And I've had quite a stressful week this week because my website all went wrong. And then somebody tried to charge me £500 for my website. So, which has delayed my launch somewhat. So there we go. So I'm not thinking anything, but my subconscious is knowing what to release. Sorry, my hair's falling out here as well. So that's one way of doing it. Now, for example, if you're very, very anxious or you're about to have a panic attack, you might want to tap on I'm anxious or just anxious. So you might say I'm anxious. And make sure that you really breathe deeply. Don't hold your breath because you are now releasing the anxiety, anxious. And you can hear me taking in the breath, anxious. And every time I breathe out, this anxiety is going, panic attack. I'm having a 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 panic attack. So to start with, this is most probably the best way of doing it. So when you tap the negative, which is the anxiety or the panic attack or the stress, I'm so stressed. 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 What you can do now is when you feel a bit better, you can start putting in the positive, which is, oh, I'm so calm. Oh, I'm so calm. I'm relaxed. I can do this, Anne. I can really do this, Anne. I'm calm. It's all gone. The stress is gone. I can cope with what I have to do. I feel amazing. So hopefully this is all making sense. Now, normally when we do a session, we start with 0 to 10. And 10 is normally a massive emotion. So what you need to do is you need to ask your heart, put your hands over your heart and say, on a scale of 0, which is no emotion, 10 is all emotion, where am I? So you might think an 8. So remember the 8. So then you do your tapping on the negative, the anxiety, the panic attack, the stress, the unfairness of it all, whatever you want to do. And then you put your hands, relax, take deep breaths. And actually, if you do, that gets rid of stuff as well. It's brilliant. Put your hands on your heart and now tune in and see what that number is. And it should have gone down. So you continue until it goes down to about a 3 or a 2. And then you can start putting in the positive. You can measure the positive if you like, or you can just do a couple of rounds of tapping on the positive until you feel better. If you were to do this again every day, you can do it when you're watching the television. If you're a passenger in the car, I actually do it if I go to the cinema. I do go to the cinema on my own, though, I do have to say that. Do it whenever you can. Let it become a habit. Let it become the minute you feel an emotion or a problem or stress or anxiety, immediately think, I need to tap. This has got to become your best habit of 2025. So I hope this makes sense. and I will be putting out more and more information as I'm relaunching my business. I haven't done videos for a very long time, so please do excuse me if I make any mistakes or things go wrong. My dogs are up here today helping me, so you might have heard them playing, but that's who I am. So take care and have a great weekend.